What is crack-a-lack Pats Nation? It's Patriots Global here, back with another video now. Before we hop into how the New England Patriots are actually back, believe it or not, in the playoff picture, make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news, and watch the video through, because this is going to be a really in-depth video on how the New England Patriots could be in the playoffs, be in the postseason, and it also really helps me and the channel out with the YouTube analytics. So as we all know, the New England Patriots have had one heck of a season so far. It started off looking like this team was a Super Bowl contender, was a guaranteed postseason team heading into the playoffs, and then things slowly started to take a dip when Corona started to really hit this team. Currently, the New England Patriots are 4-5. Many people were starting to put them at the lower tier in the NFL. When I say lower tier, I'm talking about the Bills were better than the Patriots, the Dolphins were better than the Patriots. The Patriots were sitting down there with teams like the Bengals, the Jets, yeah, those teams. People are even saying that the Browns were better than the Patriots, the Broncos were better than the Patriots. I can't say I understood why, but people were saying it. I'd also like to mention that with all of the deficits the New England Patriots have had to deal with this season, have had to deal with this offseason, can we remember that they have the hardest ranked schedule in the NFL? Can we just remember that for 1 second? So the AFC race right now for the postseason, for the playoffs, is actually really head-to-head right now. You of course have the Chiefs, you have the Steelers. Those are pretty much guaranteed teams at this point for the postseason. But with the New England Patriots being 4-5 right now, they are trailing other teams like the Miami Dolphins, who are 6-3, and the Baltimore Ravens, who are also 6-3. Now, it is also worth noting that the NFL did add an extra few teams for both the AFC and the NFC into the playoff picture. So it is much easier for a team like the Patriots, who are really struggling this offseason, to make the playoffs. In fact, because of the teams that the New England Patriots already beat this season, it is going to be much easier for them to make the playoffs than I think a lot of people understand. Now again, with the Patriots being 4-5, they do not need to be better or have a better record than teams like the Ravens or the Dolphins. They could have the same record as both of those teams, and they would still be fine. They would still make it in the playoffs over those teams because they have the tiebreaker. That is the beautiful thing about beating some of these teams who are on the rise. The Baltimore Ravens, the Miami Dolphins, teams that very well could end up going into the playoffs. Now, this is what I was talking about when I said the Patriots and the Bills game was extremely important for the Pats to beat, because if the Patriots beat them twice a year, let's remember that the Patriots would have also had a tiebreaker against the Bills too. What this means is that if these teams have the same record come the end of the season, the teams who actually beat the other teams would have that tiebreaker. So if it came down to the New England Patriots and the Baltimore Ravens, well, if the Patriots just beat the Ravens, they would win that tiebreaker. Same thing against the Miami Dolphins. But of course, New England Patriots play the Dolphins again this season, they will need to beat them. Now, when looking at the rest of the New England Patriots season, would it be great if they went undefeated? Yes, and if they are to go undefeated, easily they make the playoffs. But I would say that they can only lose about 1 to 2 games. If the New England Patriots lose more than 2 games for sure, I just do not see them making the playoffs. So when I'm looking at a record prediction, or really looking at what the Patriots record has to be for the rest of the season, the team either has to go 6-1 or 5-2 to really pull into that playoff berth. Now, there are definitely teams that this New England Patriots offense, defense should be able to beat. The 2-7 Houston Texans, they should be able to beat them. The 2-7 Los Angeles Chargers, a good team, but constantly is blowing leads. They should be able to pull out that W. And the 0-9 Jets, despite the game being close last time, they should be able to pull out that W at home. But let's also remember that they do have some pretty tough opponents here also. You have the Bills, you have the Arizona Cardinals, and you have the Los Angeles Rams. Those are going to be your toughest 3 opponents left. But again, you also have 3 pretty easy opponents to end off this season. You also have the Miami Dolphins, who you can kind of just put in the middle. They're a team who isn't great, but they have also been on the rise. New England Patriots beat them earlier this season, but again, that was before Tua did enter the game. I know that this is going to be extremely tough for the New England Patriots to do, but look, They won their last 2 games. I think this team is finally getting it together offensively. And after they just had an impressive win over the Baltimore Ravens, you can't put it out of this team. They might have some personnel deficiencies, but they do have one thing that I consider the most important thing in football, and that is the best coaching from head to toe in the entire NFL. As long as Bill Belichick is the coach of the New England Patriots, anything is possible. But y'all, real quick, NFL football finally does continue. Now guys, real quick, NFL football does continue on this week, which of course does have a few surprise teams at the top of the standings. And you might not be able to be at a game this year, but you can still be in of all of the action with BetOnline. Now, no matter how schedules change or players that play, BetOnline is going that extra mile to make sure that you get in on every game this season with the fastest updated odds in the industry. Now, there are always more options to wager than anywhere online. All you got to do is head to BetOnline today and take advantage of all of their great mid-season bonuses, offers, and contests. Again, that is BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. So now I'm just going to read you guys off the list currently, so make sure you look at the stamp right now when this video was posted, just in case this is a few weeks later. But of the current AFC standings. So number 1, you do have the Pittsburgh Steelers. No surprise there. They will probably be the team that gets that first round bye. Let's remember, only 1 team gets it this year rather than 2. In second place, you have the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, no surprise there. Number 3, you have the Buffalo Bills. They, of course, are 7-3. You have the Indianapolis Colts. They're also sitting at 6-3. You have the Las Vegas Raiders, also 6-3. You have the Miami Dolphins, also at 6-3. And then you also have the Baltimore Ravens, number 7, at 6-3. So like I said, it is extremely close this year in the AFC. I mean, things are going to be more statistical in making the playoffs than ever before. It is going to be, if this team beats that team, then this team could be in and that team could be out. But there's also a tiebreaker from like week 17. So guys, when I tell you this is going to be something to keep an eye on, this is going to be something to keep an eye on, and it could just be one of those seasons where the Patriots have to rely on certain teams winning and certain teams losing for them to squeeze in. I did just list the 7 teams that currently, if the season ended today, those would be the guys that in the AFC would be heading to the playoffs. Now at number 8, the team who is just right there, just right outside knocking the door in making the playoffs is going to be the Cleveland Browns. They're sitting at 6-3 also. After the Browns at number 9 is the Tennessee Titans at 6-3, and then the New England Patriots at 4-5. The teams after the New England Patriots are the Denver Broncos at 3-6, then the Cincinnati Bengals, then the Los Angeles Chargers, the Houston Texans, the Jacksonville Jags, and then the New York Jets. Now, something to monitor is going to be the Broncos, just because they do have that tiebreaker over the Patriots. I'm not too scared of the Broncos. They're not a great team. They're dealing with injuries still, so I don't think they're going to be an issue for the New England Patriots, but like always, you never know. Something to just watch. Again, just immediate thoughts when reading that list is that there is a lot of 6-3 teams. There is a lot of teams that have that same record, and if the New England Patriots are lucky enough for them all to just kind of come down to the Patriots level, if not the same level, then worse, then they're going to be perfectly fine. Again, you see teams like Baltimore, the New England Patriots would have that tiebreaker. You see teams like the Miami Dolphins, Pats would have that tiebreaker. The Las Vegas Raiders, Patriots would have that tiebreaker. So if the Patriots can just continue to win games and be lucky enough for some of these teams to lose some games, then the Patriots squeeze into the playoffs. But that is going to be it for today's video. What are your guys' thoughts on the current AFC standings? And do you think the Patriots can squeeze into the playoffs? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. Like always though, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.